Hey, what's up everybody? My name is Brenton. I'm a freelance filmmaker and DP, and today we're going to be talking about the V RAPTOR, or the Velociraptor, that just came out from Red. So over here I've got the Velociraptor picture right here. I'm gonna be going over my thoughts and some of the specs that they announced. I just watched the live stream that happened today, and all the really cool things that they've been working on over there at Red. So this guy over here, the Velociraptor St, this is basically their new DSMC3 camera. It's their new flagship. They did mention that they're going to be coming out with a larger version, the XL version of this, later this year, that will have built-in NDs, which is like huge for Red. Like, they haven't done this yet. It's really cool. I'm really excited. So this camera has a similar sensor to the Monstro, but it has been redesigned. The readout is twice as fast. So I believe the readout is about 8 milliseconds from top to bottom. So they're able to get 120 frames a second using the whole sensor in 8K VistaVision, and then cropping to 2.4 to 1 gives them 150 frames a second, which is crazy. Like, some of the footage I've seen from this guy, it really does look impressive. It reminds me a lot of the stuff I've seen from the Canon R5, actually, just because it's that same format. You know, it's the 8K, it's full frame. But for $25,000, this kind of feels like a good deal. There's nothing on the market that shoots 8K at 120 frames a second with a full frame sensor. The only thing that comes close is actually the Ursa 12K. This is an A camera. Like, this is what people on, indie filmmakers and a lot of Hollywood filmmakers, probably, people like James Gunn and like the Michael Bays, are definitely going to be shooting on these cameras. I'm sure there's going to be a green one floating around for Michael Bay, the Transformers Edition version, but this looks really cool. I'm really excited about it. I really want to go to NAB later and, try one out. Hopefully they'll have some there. But some of the really cool features on this guy, one is the non-proprietary media. So it's using the CF Express cards, as well as it has a brand new cooling system that they talked about. It uses a Peltier system, which, if you're not familiar, is basically a thermal electric cooling system, similar to the one used in the Arri Alexa. It actually heats up the sensor when you turn it on to get it to the stable temperature, and then cools it down if it gets too hot, which is just mind-blowing, because for the longest time, Reds and many other cameras, you need to heat them up to get that noise performance where the noise reduction is kind of kicking in at the proper amount. So this almost eliminates the need for really any like meaningful warm-up time for the camera. So you just turn it on, basically ready to go, unless you're sub-zero, then you would need to let it warm up. But that's one of the new things about the camera. You can basically run it in really cold temperatures, and the camera will heat itself up and keep itself warm, which is pretty cool. So the camera does not have a global shutter. It has a rolling shutter, but it is a very fast readout speed. So it's not gonna give you a lot of jello like some of the Red cameras in the past. I really like the button layout. I think the RF mount, the new locking RF mount, is super impressive. I loved how all the guys at Red talked about kind of what fans they are of like Canon glass and like the Canon mount. It's cool that they're kind of just camera guys. They're not like, oh, Team Red, only Red stuff. They're very, which they've kind of been in the past. They've kind of, it looks like they've turned over a leaf, and they're really just working with everybody for all the accessories. I saw a design company do their dovetails and their rod systems that you can get. Angelbird is doing their cards. I think they're the only ones that make cards fast enough for this camera. This camera will eat through your cards. It's impressive, actually. It'll do up to 800 megabytes a second. Cranking it up to HQ is significantly higher in the just 24 frame per second mode in 8K than you can get on the DSMC2 cameras. So the price point for this guy, the white Stormtrooper version was about $24,500. I believe the standard black edition is going to be probably $24,000. They usually charge a little bit more for this one, but I'm thinking these are going to sell a lot considering the $24,000 price category. They also have a new monitor I noticed, the DSMC3 monitor. It's about 15 or maybe 12 to 1500 nits. Looks pretty nice. It is pretty expensive. It's definitely that red expensive accessory. They don't seem to have many of those this time around because they really integrated most of the electronics into the body to keep it smaller, I noticed. It feels like they're kind of turning over a new leaf with a lot of the Komodo accessories and a lot of these accessories and just kind of pricing them down a notch, trying to really appeal to more of that indie filmmaker crowd again, I think, that kind of made them popular like when the Red 1 came out. They've really upped their prices since they started, and I think they're kind of toning it back down again, which I know Red has very much been like kind of an aesthetically pleasing brand to look at, not just from like an image perspective, but as from an exterior perspective. When you see their cameras, they look very impressive. And I think their Ranger cameras still look amazing. I think they look the best, and I think they know that, and that's why they're going to keep using the Ranger body style for the XL version of this V RAPTOR. This camera it's very small, it's pretty much just a cube or a rectangle in this case. It's got these little kind of wings, I want to call them, that you can just put on the sides, to hold it. I think you can get it in one of the kits here. And then you've got your monitor and you kind of hold it around like that. And it's like a little bit bigger. It's bigger than a medium format camera, definitely heavier. So what do I think about these cameras? I think these are definitely the pinnacle of Red's design philosophy, their technical abilities, and just like these are the bleeding edge of camera technology right now. Having your media inside the camera, not exposed, is such a professional, like polished feature of a camera company that is kind of maturing. They're not that old of a company yet. They're not as old as Sony or Canon, who've been doing this for forever now. They are still like the new kids on the block, and they are just innovating, and I love it. I think that's all I got to say for this guy. It's been a really cool day. I'm glad all this stuff came out. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Keep creating. I want to make some more content on this channel. I feel like I only talk about when new cameras come out because that is what excites me and it gets me motivated to talk about stuff in videos. But I really do want to make like a filmmaker community here, and I want to teach people how to make better films and how to tell better stories and how to visually communicate that through cinematography and stuff like that. I'm gonna head out, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.